Hello. Hi everyone. I'm further over to the side than I thought I was going to be. Happy anniversary. Welcome to the 7th birthday of this channel. There's Marty. Oh, he's on there, isn't he? Are we coming through okay? We seem like bunched up over this side.
You set it up like that.
It didn't look like that a few minutes ago, did it? Hi everyone. Hopefully you can see everything okay. Everything's looking good. Probably make Marty bigger, couldn't we? He could probably be in this big area between us.
Make him big and us small.
Yeah, he should be doing all of the talking. If I turn him off here, I can have control of him over here. Will he get in our way? Maybe.
Always gets in our way.
I can't make the left bigger because that's where he disappears. That's where he's going off the camera. A little tail swish. Getting a little bit annoyed, but not too much. Hi everyone. Hi Steve, James, Steve, Shiffy, Frederick. Thank you so much for joining us. Bit of a chat really. But it turns out we haven't really done one of these for a year. I thought we did one like last winter or something. I thought we did one like around September, but no, it turns out that the thing that I keep meaning to do every now and then, I like never seem to get a chance to do it every month, but oh yeah, we'll try and do these regularly. Hey, it's been a year again, but I do like the recaps and stuff from time to time. Yeah. You appear on stream and that. Oh, the chat thing is still doing its like it
Good.
doesn't move for ages, and then suddenly a load of messages come through. I don't know how to fix that. I think it's a YouTube-y thing. Everything's coming through okay. Brilliant. Yes, it's scary. It's on one hand, it's kind of an achievement. There's a lot of things that have happened. There's a lot of videos that have been made. I'm not sure exactly how many at this point. It's like nearly 800, I think, like playthroughs on the playthrough list. It needs updating. So I think it's only at like 700. What's it at about now? About 750 or something? But yeah, it hasn't been updated this month, so it's probably getting on for 800 things now, which is pretty staggering. And most of those different games as well. So yeah, there's like a whole lot is on the channel and a whole lot has been done. But on the other hand, like time is disappearing and suddenly 7 years have gone by. But hey, that's just the way things is. Marty basically been in that position for 7 years. Hi Mike. Hi James. Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's plenty of things. Like it's weird because it's like things just going on. I'm just live again tomorrow. Like we should play in some Tapestry again tomorrow.
Not me.
Not you. Have you? I think you've played Tapestry.
Yes,
I
I have.
You haven't played it with any expansions or anything on. This is the last expansion for Tapestry. This time, Rach. Hey, Joel. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Oh, it's kicked in. Thanks, James. The Patreon bot has kicked in. If you would like to support the channel, hey, the links down here as well. They're in the description. They're in the chat. If you can and you're able to help us keep doing all of this stuff, then, yeah, they're great places to go to. They will make that happen. And, yeah, you can see the little bonus. The latest playthrough is a bit of a revisit of the pursuit of happiness. That like I put the dates on when I did the Patreon vote. That's what I was clicking on to try and find that vote, because like I regretted doing it when I started writing that anniversary list, because like it's scary when you think like some of these games I probably haven't played since I did the playthrough. We probably played Pursuit of Happiness a bit after with friends, but yeah, the first playthrough for it was June 2016. It was the ninth thing I ever did, and I watched it back to remember how to play the game. The shaky cam was very shaky back then. But yeah, there's a little retro surprise. It's like some people reminiscing about the old handheld camera when the long lost Eldorado playthrough went up. Hey, I did a new one for Pursuit of Happiness. I don't think my camera arm is as strong as it used to be. So I'm out of practice from doing it. The microphone anyway, the lovely Marty on my shirt. I keep forgetting, like, I need to get something permanent on screen, like talking about the merch, because it's gone out of my, like, make sure you say this every time. But yeah, there's merch available on sirmeeple.com if you're interested in any shirts.
Should have worn a
or
cap.
mugs and things. Oh yeah, my cap. No, it'd probably be a bit dark on my face though. Yeah, there's a cap as well. My favourite latest thing. When you get some cat clothing next time, I'm sure Marty would be really pleased to be modelling that for us. It's hard enough to just get him. Oh yeah, thanks James. There's a little command for it, isn't there? I forgot all about that. And there's like other creators and stuff on there as well. But yeah, Marty's got a special little seat. Tidied up today, and there's a fresh little square of clear floor, and that's where he spent the day basically. He's got a lovely chair with his special blanket and cushions and stuff on. But he wants to just sit on the floor and see what new is going on. Sky Mines is on your table right now. Oh, brilliant! Have you unlocked all of the scenarios and bits of it? I think I was just on kind of a basic one, right? I think I'd only unlocked a couple of bits when I did my playthrough. Oh yeah, Marty coins. We're going to look at it. I don't know how we would do that. I wonder if you can get... Because there's companies, isn't there, where you just give them a design of a shirt and they print the shirts out for you as people order them. I wonder if there's anything like that would print on stickers. Because we could do that with the coins then. Like, we wouldn't be able to do poker chips because it would weigh a ton and probably cost way more. Like, it would have to cost a fortune to get them sent anywhere. But like the stickers, I wonder if there's a company that does that, like print stuff out. Yeah, the merch does ship to America. I think they've got like local like hubs wherever you order it from. Like I think if you order it in the UK, it'll come from somewhere in Europe. Yeah, if you order it from the States, I think it comes straight from the States. Like Tim from Sir Meeple is in the States sorting it all out, doing all of the logistics and stuff, and doing all of the like design work as well. Like they're Rach's drawings originally, but they're kind of converted.
They're made to look a lot nicer.
They're like they're converted to like solid colours because they're like pencil drawings, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like they're made for the shirts and stuff. They're made like solid. I should have thought about how to hide this microphone a bit. I don't want to go too far away from it. I don't want it to bash the keyboard and start like turning off the stream and stuff. But yeah, like we're just here for a little chat really, to have a little celebrate, a little reminisce. But yeah, if you have got any questions or anything that you'd like answering, we'll do our best. Rach loves giving her opinions on board games, so if you'd like to ask Rach to review something for you, the review will probably be it's all right.
Dunno.
Yeah, dunno or it's all right.
Well, it's tough because I'm not a reviewer.
No, it's fair enough. I'm
I
a
don't know how to
playthrougher.
put things nicely.
No, I don't like. Sometimes it's very easy to think of what to say, like whether you like a game or not. But sometimes it's hard to put it into non-rambling words. So that's why I just go with the ramble. Ever thought of getting a dog as a companion for Marty? Never thought of any other companions for him, really.
Well, we thought of a cat. We thought of getting another kitten, but we think he would just hate any.
We probably should have done it, like, if we were going to do it, we should have done it when he was quite young as well. I don't know. But it's hard to say.
He's very antisocial.
He is, but it's hard to say, isn't it? Because he's not really seen any other animals, really.
No, true.
He's an indoor cat, so like after
he's freaked out by most things.
Yeah, he's like as he's getting into his older years.
Senior.
He's nicer in some ways. Like he's not a lap cat. He comes to you when he wants a fuss. But like,
and if you dare talk while he's stroking him,
yeah, he'll get up. If he's lying on you and you say anything or you sneeze or something, he walks off in a huff. But yeah, as he's got a bit older, he started like hissing, hasn't he? When he's not to us, but to like if friends come around and stuff, and he's had enough. He's doing little hisses and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how he'd react to another animal. And he's like him barreling around the house is plenty. When he wants food and when he's just been fed. It's just thundering around everywhere. If I could choose a game and have it redone by a different designer, which game would it be and what designer? I don't know. It's a good question, but I don't know.
It's almost like you should ask for questions before the Q&A. So for questions that need thinking about, you could have had thinking time.
Have something redesigned by a different designer. Just looking at my... Well, it's a mistake probably looking at my wall of games, because the things that are here are things that like I like the most. It'd be interesting seeing like if you have like a really dice chucky, see Vita Lacerda or Vlada Chvátil's take on like Fortune and Glory or Eldritch Horror. Get it turned into get it turned into like
farming horror.
An economic Euro, yeah. Uwe Rosenberg does Arkham Horror.
That'd be quite interesting.
We'll see.
Or seeing the opposite,
yeah,
so Agricola being turned into something
have Agricola
crazy.
Turned into like a dice-based mad story game. Yeah, something like that. You just bought Detective and Modern Crime board game today. Is that that's the base game, right? The one where all of the stories follow on from each other. I think it is. Yes, it's called Season 1 when they did like a little expansion of standalone things. We loved Detective.
Is that where somebody has to play the...
No, Detective Modern Crime board game is the Portal one where...
Oh, yeah.
You know, where we had the cork board. We had a cork board on the wall with the photos pinned on it and strings and stuff going on. We were well into it. So it's like, the only thing about it is, and it worked okay for us, but we had to play it quite... In quite a short space of time. We wanted to. We
hammered it in like a week or so.
Because I think I had an early copy and we played it so quickly that like it wasn't quite, the finale wasn't quite ready because they didn't think that someone would just like steam through it. But yeah, see, you have to kind of maybe keep good notes or play it quite close together because it's one great big thing. It's one big story. Like, there are separate chapters, cases going on in it, but things will refer back to things from previous cases. So like that's the only thing that you've got to keep your notes from previous things handy and try and keep it all in your mind about who these people are and what they did and stuff. But yeah, it works beautifully. And that's probably we've played other bits since. So like they did season 1 that's a bit easier, maybe some shorter scenarios, and they're all like standalone things. And what was the expansion we played? Was it LA Crime?
Yeah, it was was it the noir one? Did we play? Am I just getting games mixed up?
I think
there was one set in the olden time, like in a weird time. Look it up.
There might have been actually. I know there was the LA one.
It wasn't called noir, I don't think, but it was like...
We liked that, but we didn't like it as much as the... So they were like carry-on things. They did carry on from the previous stuff.
LA Crimes.
Yeah, that's the...
We've done another one.
LA Crimes was like 80s kind of themed, wasn't it? Like Miami Vice kind
Maybe
of
that's
theme.
what I'm perhaps getting like...
There was an expansion for Chronicles of Crime that was noir.
And I thought we'd done another one.
Detective City of Angels is all noir themed.
We played more than one expansion for that game.
Well, we played the...
Did we do a standalone?
I suppose this comes at... Yeah, it doesn't come under an expansion because you don't need the base game for it. Where you did for like LA Crimes and stuff, you needed the base box for. But they did a season 1 box that had like some standalone stories in it as well.
Did we dig deeper?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if we did Petty Officers.
No, we did dig
familiar.
deeper, I think. That seems familiar.
Yeah, it's great detective. Like, really like detective-y kind of games. Chronicles of Crime is great. And they're very different as well. But
I do think that we enjoyed them all, but I think playing the normal detective. The original vanilla detective was more fun, but maybe that's because we were so into it with the board and stuff.
Yeah, and cracking that case and following that story through.
Yeah, the stories seemed to flow really nicely.
But like for one, like, I don't know, Chronicles of Crime, even with the later expansions, we still had a good time with it. But there's sometimes some like adventure gamey logic, like
we got stuck for a long time in one.
Like Monkey Island kind of logic to some of
where
the
we
things.
were going in circles and we thought we'd been everywhere.
Yeah, not quite Monkey Island, but because it's an app.
Yeah, but there was like one little choice that we hadn't chosen, one tiny little option.
Yeah,
we went around for like an hour, and that was painful.
Like, yeah, detective like keeps you on a really short leash. That's probably the thing that you could play it again. We probably wouldn't remember broadly the story now, but like even if you did, there are still like plenty of cards that you don't encounter.
There's stuff that we don't know.
Yeah, that you've got quite a limited time to do anything in it. So there's loads of avenues you can't go down because you can't really risk them being a red herring. You've got to hope that you're sure about what you're picking. But another one that's good, and again very different, is you see it kind of there, Detective City of Angels. Like the it can be played as like a competitive game with everyone competing against each other, but it's a detective game where we played it cooperatively as the detectives, but one person can be the what's the term for it? The screw.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound right. One person basically plays one person plays all of the criminals, and they've got this sheet in front of them for the case that you're playing, and based on what you're asked by the detectives, it gives you options of like, here's the answer if you want to tell the truth, here's the answer if you want to lie, and like the detectives can call you out on that, and they get the chisel, that's the thing.
Still DIY related.
Yeah, you can play it completely cooperatively as well, and it's got kind of a choose your own adventure book to handle just the criminal thing. I did a playthrough completely solo where it uses that book. But yeah, we played a few cases, didn't we, where you with the chisel deciding whether to lie to everyone or not.
To egg me on to do accents as well.
Yeah, you've got to do some criminal accents.
Steer clear of accents, I can't do them.
I've also got, there's a game, I think it's from the 80s. It's called Gumshoe. And I think, if I remember rightly, it's from the designer of Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. And like, I really wanted to get my hands on it for ages. Like, Paul Grogan's got a copy, and he used to talk about it years ago. I don't know if he's played it at this point, but yeah, I managed to get my hands on a copy a couple of years ago and still haven't gotten around to playing it just yet. So hopefully at some point. I don't know if it would be nice to make some kind of video about it, because you can find it. It pops up on eBay every now and again. But I wonder, like, probably wouldn't work as a live stream. I don't know, because you could help us all out and stuff. But if you've played Sherlock Holmes Detective, it's a lot of text, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of reading through text and sitting there.
Very long story time.
Feeling stupid while Sherlock just solves it all in front of you. But yeah, I really like Detective. Steve, is that Sir Meeple? Jordan had no issues. I get to do a hoodie as well, don't they? The shirts, mugs, caps, and hoodies.
I'm waiting for the pink hoodie to appear.
And there is, yeah. I think. So there is caps available. Oh, you wanted vests, didn't you? Yeah, they couldn't do vests just yet last time we asked.
Sad.
But Rach would like some vests. Sheffy, do you aim for a certain number of Patreon supporters? Are you satisfied with the current number? Yeah, I'm satisfied that anyone is on it at all, really. But like it's like the goal that comes up on most of the streams. It's not there on this one because I changed it to. It's usually a list of like 30 most recent or something like that. But I just changed it today, so it's like everyone was on that list. Everyone that's currently a patron. And I sometimes think about changing it so that, like, the credits is just everyone, and just do it that way. Just have one tier. I think about those kind of things about changing it, but in some ways I think just leave it. It's working okay. Don't mess around with it. But yeah, the goal that comes up at the start, I think that's for like 200. So that's like been the goal for a while, and it's tough, especially at the moment, isn't it? When everyone's like tightening belts and stuff. Because like the goal really, like I do this part time, like I do this more than my other job. But yeah, the goal would be that this would be it. This would be my main job. And it's like, it does well enough for me to be doing it for this long and to be making as much as I do. And yeah, there's like so the main thing is the Patreon, and the patrons on it. And then I do like paid videos sometimes for like for Kickstarters and stuff, which I think like there hasn't been that many in the last few months, but I feel like there's going to be a big run of like things all clumping together that are looking scary in my calendar. But yeah, I'd like it to be more. I think the last time that I set the goals on the page, I think they took the goals off the page now on Patreon. I think I remember an update where they took that off. But yeah, I think it was 200 and then there'd be some kind of like celebration thing. I think it was do the top 50 or maybe it was even top 100 all over again, which is a scary prospect. But yeah, I'd do it and sort it out all over again. And I think it got changed to a bit more than that to be full-time, because it's just like, I don't know, there's been times, like I wonder sometimes now it's probably possible, but it'd be like, it's risky, isn't it? It'd be quite tight. It's like, to be able to go full-time, it would be nice to have more. But yeah, there's still like, it's amazing that there's 172 right now. It's amazing. And yeah, if you would like to be number 173, you can join up at that link. Your name will appear on the screen. It would be above Marty, but he's moved. I can never get the mirror in right. Frederick, Yahtzee buying, chip theory, and Agricola LCG. It could work. No idea how. Will we be going to the UK Games Expo this year? Yes. So far this year, we are going to be at 2 things.
It would be crazy if we didn't go to the UK Games Expo.
And we're going to be going to
our local.
Yeah, it is the closest thing to us. The 2 things we go to are the closest thing to us and maybe the furthest thing from us that's still in this country. So yeah, we're going to the UK Games Expo, which is in about a month, isn't it? Which, that seems like it's come around really quickly. It's right at the start of June, isn't it? So that's going to be in about 5 weeks. We are going, I don't think we've sorted out which days yet, but we'll be there a couple of days. I think
we did Friday and Sunday last year, but
yeah, we might do that again. We'll see. But we'll definitely be there at some point, and there'll be some kind of video afterwards. I mean to like, maybe it'll just be in the recap at the start of June, but I'd like to do like a video before. I used to, like, I think the last one I did was 2019, but I used to do a list. So not as good as, but kind of like the lists that get made on Board Game Geek for Essen. I started making that for the UK Games Expo. And the last time that we did it in 2019, like Peter from Tabletop Together had started like pulling data from that list to make it work in his tool and stuff. And it was great. And you could see all the stuff that was just coming out at the expo. Whereas now, they have a website, but you can submit anything to it. Like, if you're an exhibitor, you can submit any game that you're taking. And it doesn't really, unless it's changed since last year, it doesn't really specify what's new. So, doing a video that's like, here are the things that I want to check out at the UK Games Expo, it's a bit harder to do. There's definitely, we'll be able to see some things that are going to be there, probably demos and stuff. But in terms of what's releasing, I'm not sure if there's a platform or a tool that can get you to see that. Hi Frederick, do you already play Earth? We haven't yet. I've seen like a lot of raving about it. I think it's meant to be like there's been pre-orders on the publisher's website. I nearly pre-ordered it, and I thought like a lot of the pre-order dates seemed like they were now. Like their website said the release date is the end of April, but if you order it from us now, you'll get it early. And I didn't. And then it seems like they haven't been sent still yet. I think Zatu's got them or something like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna get it when it comes out in shops, I think. But yeah, it seems to be really cool. It's like an engine building game patch that's getting
my
a lot of traction. Like terraforming Mars, but what if it was nice and the theme of it was looking after the planet and stuff? It seems quite cool. Yeah, I'm keen to play it, but we haven't played it yet. Thank you for subscribing. People that are subscribing as well. Yeah, the chat thing, if anyone isn't subscribed and wondering why they can't chat, it's just a really, really easy way of cutting out, it seems, like anything that you would want to moderate out. Any kind of spam. Like, it seemed, I don't know that we've had, definitely the bots. Steve might be able to notice as well. Steve is our real life chatbot. But, yeah, it seems like all of those naughty bots that used to be in the chat, I don't think they've been in here since I've turned that subscribers only thing on. You only have to subscribe for a minute. So if you're desperate to say something and you really don't want to subscribe, you can just press it, wait a minute, say something,
But
and
I'm
then
sure you do want
click
to
it up.
subscribe.
Why would you not want to subscribe? We need that number to go up. All of the numbers must go up. I've got lost. Oh yes, that bit. For your wife, you and your wife like watching English detective shows. It seems every English nation has its own detective series. There's a lot, isn't there?
I mean, there's probably more than what we know now because we don't really watch a lot of new
Of like current things.
TV.
You like Agatha Raisin, don't you?
Well, that's a book. I mean, they've made
You
some
watched the
shit.
TV
Yeah,
one?
they've made some.
It's got the...
Yeah. I don't really know any new detective shows. I know old ones like Lewis and Midsummer Murders.
Jonathan Creek.
I don't know.
It's not
Emma's for Murder.
Yeah, that is a detective game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game.
TV show. Maybe did they ever make a game of Jonathan Creek? It'd be an impossible game. It'd be like Sherlock Holmes' Consulting Detective, whereas no one would be able to solve it. You'd spend days and days trying to work it out, and then you'd see that Jonathan had done it in 2 steps, rather than Hot Cook Deceased as well. That's the best one, really. Whichever one you want to watch.
But yeah, there's always loads. There's always something on like ITV, like every week.
Millions, isn't there? But I've got lost again. Rach does an excellent British accent. She works very hard on that.
On my own
practices
accent.
it.
Just on my accent.
Yeah, she's trying very hard at that. You wouldn't recognise her once we're off stream. Hey Sarge, what's the first game you played solo and when was it? I don't know, actually. Like, I think
one of the first games you ever played solo was probably the Castles of Burgundy card game.
it probably was. Like, I don't feel like I had been playing solo that long, really. Because, like, it wasn't as prevalent either, was it? Like, even 7 years ago, there probably weren't a lot of games that we had that had a solo mode even in them. Like, not that we had that many games back then. By the time I started the channel, we did have a lot of games. There was a period of intense buying that slowed right down. And it, Rach?
No.
Stop
Well, it's
now.
not as intense.
It's not like that. I don't think it's ever been like that again.
There's little periods where lots of things arrive.
Yeah, but there'd be loads of, like, it was always like 2-player minimum and stuff, and a lot of the stuff would be like, in the first year or so, it would be like stuff we'd seen on tabletop. So I don't think, like, it probably would have been around then. Like, it's like Castle of Burgundy card game had one, because Castle of Burgundy didn't. I think still doesn't. I don't think any of the new versions
like
have added
one of
a
the-
solo mode.
Some of the first games that you actually did solo playthroughs are probably the first things you ever filmed, because that's when you started to
Yeah,
be like, oh,
and like that's
think about starting doing videos.
that's probably why I did a video in the end as well, because I think I'd been thinking about it, but thought like, oh, there's plenty of people doing it, and this was 7 years ago. There was so many people doing it then. I thought, like, what's another video going to be like? And then I think when I'd started playing things like Castles of Burgundy card game, 'cause I think they had maybe come out around like the Essen before. It was like Castles of Burgundy card game. What were the others? Like Peloponnese, the card game. Like the first, if you look back on the first things that I did on the channel, they're all like that's what I thought. Like I thought like I'd been playing Castles of Burgundy card game a lot, and just noticed one day on the Board Game Geek page, oh, no one's done a video for this game at all, or no one's done one for the solo mode of it. So I thought, like, oh, I'll give one a try then. So I think it's probably one of those. Yeah,
Octodice.
Yeah, Octodice is from that Essen, isn't it? So that would be Essen 2015, because it was April 2016 when I started filming it all. So it would have been played a lot of Octodice. Flopping the card game. All the On Invasion was out by then, so I don't think I'd played it solo before then, though, because I think that was something. After I'd made a couple, I'd started like going through all the games that we had and seeing like, oh, this plays solo. I'd better try that. We played it co-op loads, haven't we? But
yeah.
I hadn't played it solo. Zombie 15. So
game.
like I've made some heartbreaking decisions today of some games to take off the shelves. Zombie 15 continues to survive.
I didn't know we still had it. Maybe we'll have to get it out again.
Because we did play it. Like it's probably 2 or 3 years ago now. We did take it to our friends and play it again. It's so good. Of the networks and stuff.
So
yeah, like that's when it was getting more and more.
I remember
like,
the Project Elite videos.
Yeah, because we went to the Expo in 2016, and I picked up my pledge of the networks there, and so got that back and did some solo playthroughs. And I bought Project Elite, which I didn't know anything about. Like I knew it had been a Kickstarter that I couldn't afford or I'd seen too late or something, and then. Like when we got it back and I made a video about it, suddenly there'd been a load of drama about. I think I knew a bit about the delays, but I didn't realise that people hadn't had their copies and stuff. So that was like a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the first people want to watch these things because no one else has done a video for it yet. No one's got it yet. So I did a load of them. So I was probably fairly new to it still. We'd only been playing games for maybe 2-ish years, like. More seriously, something popped up on Facebook the other day of us playing Arkham Horror
on our little coffee table.
That was from 2016, wasn't it? So we're playing it on our coffee table.
And I mean, like house. a low coffee table.
Yeah, all like sat on the floor or the sofa, playing Arkham Horror, which basically the board takes up the entire table, and there's like just enough room for the.
Well, there was like a shelf, wasn't there?
Oh, there was a shelf underneath.
So we were like putting all our player stuff under the shelf.
Yeah, all your boards are on the shelf underneath. It's like a terrible way to play, but we played. That's Arkham Horror. It was a survivor of the before times. That was around from way before we started playing board games. But yeah, I don't remember like the first one specifically, but it was
I would say
it probably wasn't very long before the channel started. Really,
it's a good shout.
And like that Essen 2016 was when there was like a whole run of things that I got. Was it that Essen? But that year anyway, I got the Gallerist. Feast for Odin came out that year, and something else. There were like a couple of solo things that I played basically like every night.
Yeah, you played a lot of the Gallerist.
So much, and loads of Feast for Odin, and they started doing those they used to do a thing on the forums where they'd do a certain setup and give you certain cards, and you had to try and do the best score and stuff.
Play Feast for Odin and become an expert, and then want me to play it with you.
Yeah, you gotta be the best fighter, Rach.
No chance of even winning against a Feast for Odin expert.
There's always a chance. Yeah, probably one of them. Frederick, so far, which is your most memorable stream? It's all the streams with Rach. They're the most memorable.
You're just saying that to get me to do more.
Probably, I really like the huge, I don't know, mostly. They're of me, aren't they? So the ones that immediately stick out are the ones where I've got guests on or something. So some of the big streams that I've done with Paul of Gaming Rules, like when we did a Great Big Mage Night stream, that's probably ages ago now that we did that. It doesn't seem too long ago, but it probably is. We're doing a great big 3-4 hour solo conquest or something. Maybe playing one of the Imperium games over like the internet with David Tortsey, one of the designers, and him demolishing me. Like, being very nice about it, but yeah, just completely slaughtering me in that game. Probably one of them in like a stream, in like a live stream.
Most memorable actual video, supermarket sweep
Yeah.
video.
The
Every
best,
time.
the best videos are the stupid ones that I've made.
Supermarket sweep and the grid con.
Yeah, I think that is the only, like, I've done playthroughs that are like, maybe are like, oh, we'll do this game to commemorate the anniversary, or like it's usually certain numbers. Like, I think I ran out of Castles of Burgundy games, but number 1 was Castles of Burgundy card game. I think 100 was the dice game, 200 was the board game, and then I ran out of them. I think one of the hundreds is the 500th. Has that got my sister on? I think that's me and Josie playing Friends is one of the hundreds. But yeah, I think the only proper anniversary video that I prepared, there is kind of one this year, isn't there? Because I did Pursuit of Happiness again, which is also one of the very early ones. But yeah, revisiting it after all these years and doing it all handheld and stuff again, which is cool. But yeah, the first anniversary has got a video for the Supermarket Sweep board game, which, if you're not familiar, is a game show from many years ago, the 90s probably. I think it ran in the 2000s a little bit, but you would have had a different host and probably quite a different style. But I think it's an American quiz show as well. Like,
It has come back here, but it's not the same.
No, I think it's one of those that was American first, like a lot of ours. But yeah, there's a 90s adaptation of a supermarket-based quiz show in board game form.
With a special guest star.
Yeah, so it's like it's a proper playthrough, but there's a nice little intro with Paul Grogan and a nice little opening title sequence as well. And yeah, the GridCon video. I always say these two because, like, I don't know,
They just stick in my head.
I mean to make more things like that, but nothing really occurs to me. Like, I had to do like a GridCon video because we were invited. We were there for me to make a video covering it, and I just recorded loads of footage quite seriously, and it was only in the editing of that video that it turned into something a lot sillier than expected. But yeah, that's a really good one as well. Like, even if you are never going to be able to go to a GridCon, yeah, I think the video is well worth checking out. You can. I've just jumped ahead. Like a bloopers video.
No, I always say bloopers. I always say, "Oh, I'll put that in a bloopers video," and
yeah.
never a bloopers video.
It all just gets thrown away, really. But there is, like, they aren't bloopers. But we did. Was it just Kitchen Rush, or maybe was it an expansion? We did a playthrough together because it's real time. Because you if you want to play multiplayer, you've got to do that with somebody else. And then there's like a little music video at the end of it where I cut out us saying the names of dishes and put it to music. Do you remember that?
Do I know about that?
Yeah, you've seen it. It's been a while though. I think that got clipped out. I don't think it went up on the channel as its own video, but I think that got put up as its own video on one of the Kickstarters for the game. Can't remember. I seem to remember something like that happening. Maybe that's just in my head. Here we go. I bought you a copy of Dungeon Alliance. When can we expect to see a playthrough? I hope kind of soon. It's one of those that I bought. I feel like, how long ago did I buy that now? Is it about a year? Probably longer than a year, right? It is still on the shelf, unplayed. And partly, it comes up in votes every now and then and doesn't get enough votes. But yeah, it's come up as one of these things that, like, I want to get playing it. I want to see what this thing is like. It's like an involved, like, it's, if I remember rightly, like, it's kind of Mage Knighty in like an involved, puzzly kind of dungeony game, right? It's not very Mage Knight, but the same kind of atmosphere, perhaps, same kind of thought processes. I'm really keen to give it a go. But yeah, it feels like it's one that needs some time setting aside for it. But I'd like one of the things that, like, they've been cropping up a bit for like probably most of a year is like the episodic things that come up. Like, we had Like sometimes it's full sessions, like I did like the whole Scythe Rise of Fenris campaign in like episodes, and then when we've had something like Eldritch Horror or Mansions of Madness or My Father's Work, they're like more story-based things. They've been split up into kind of episodes and go over like a few weeks. I want to do that more. Like I want to like still keep the live things, keep the normal playthroughs. But yeah, it's going to be some story-based things on Sundays for the near future. Anyway, I've got a few things planned. We've got a few things filmed, haven't we, Rach? Rach was in one this week.
I've been in a few.
I've got a. You've been in a specifically story time playthrough this week.
This week, yes.
But yeah, there's a few of them coming up. Can't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Dungeon Alliance. That's I've made a list of. I know it's not strictly the same kind of ongoing story based thing, but that was one of the things that I thought maybe that could be one. So I was trying to make a list of all the things I have that might fit in that. I can't remember where that list is now. It might be on the calendar that I need to keep up with. But yeah, hopefully. I want to say the near future, but the near future is approaching incredibly quickly. Oh, my hard drive's just filled up and it's not going to be able to record this anymore. So hopefully nothing goes wrong with the output of the stream. That's because I've got all of these playthroughs that have been exported that are taking up all of my space on my hard drive. There's been a lot of editing, there's been a lot of extra filming and stuff for some of these things. I'd better delete that because the computer might get fed up with me if it's got zero hard drive space. That should be okay.
Do you just press record again?
No, we don't. Like, it automatically records whenever I start streaming. So like sometimes that's been very helpful because sometimes the stream's gone really wrong and I've been able to like resurrect it and stitch together. I think something we did, was it one of the Galzir ones? I think something we did kept crashing and I had to like rebuild the end of the stream or something like that. But yeah, I hope soon. In amongst all of the things that I'm already doing, and there's a lot of rules videos as well that I'm in the process of making that are coming up at some point. I suppose when they're ready. I don't think there's going to be any delay once they're all approved. Hey, Frederick, during the last 7 years, when did it feel it was for real, and what made you feel that way? It's probably like maybe like the first Essen, I suppose. Well, the big things were, like, as I said, that Project Elite video, that was the first, like, people had been watching a little bit just because they get posted to Board Game Geek for however many videos I'd already done. But Project Elite was the first one that suddenly had, like, a spike in, oh, people are watching this, partly because no one really had the game. So I was inadvertently one of the first people making, like, a video with the final edition. But that was like the first thing. And I think someone involved, I think someone at Artipia emailed me and asked me like, oh, can we use your video in the update and something? And I was like, that was like a huge thing. And then when, like, the first time we went on holiday was like 2016. That was 2016. It was the year that it started. And I'd like filmed a load of videos in a big rush because I think I was like strictly 2 videos a week. You've got to keep it to 2 videos a week. Like, you can't do less than that. So I'd filmed all these in advance, and one of them was Scythe, kind of early on in Scythe's life as well. And it is a bit full of mistakes because I was rushing. But so that went up in the middle of our holiday when we were in America, and I remember like being in Disneyland with like barely like trying to get signal to answer these comments because suddenly like what's going on with this? So that was like, they were like the first initial jumps that I remember. And then going to the first Essen, it's like, not that like, I think I still only had like a few hundred subscribers then, but that was a big thing of going up to certain people at like certain booths. Like I always remember like the Aporta booth and stuff. Like they knew who I was and they'd been watching me and stuff and liked it, which was lovely. I met Rado and he knew who I was. Like that was probably the first kind of things that, oh, like this is a thing, kind of. This thing that I do that is taking up all of my nights. It's kind of a thing now. James, what will be the next campaign after Hadrian's Wall? I think it's probably going to be the Legacy of You, but maybe they're going to have to. I mean, like the plan was that Hadrian's Wall would happen in Anniversary Week, and there just hasn't been time, unfortunately. And so I think next week we need to finish the Heat Championship off, but I think we also need to try and find time for Hadrian's Wall in some way. And then I think Manhattan Project is happening next week. They're probably the live things. It all of these little time slots get gobbled up straight away. Because like your Legacy of You is arriving now as well, isn't it? I wanted to be kind of into the campaign at this point before people's copies are arriving. But yeah, that's probably going to be the next one. So maybe I'd try and do one pretty quickly after. Because it's going to be like it's going to be the sad finale of Hadrian's Wall. Well, it's still going to be fun and great. And maybe there'll be more stuff one day to go back to it. Maybe we should just do it all again. But yeah, it's the grand finale next time we do Hadrian's Wall. Hey Silverfear, how do you feel the evolution of solo gaming has affected the hobby? Do you think the trend will continue? Yeah, I think it's much more like a normal thing now, right? Whereas like it seems pretty standard on a lot of Eurogame, like particularly the kind that I am into. It feels like everyone has got a solo mode, and they're all designed by David Turczi, it seems.
It can only be a
sometimes.
positive thing, surely.
Yeah, it's just like it still happens, and like people being insistent that certain game has to be like multiplayer and only works that way, and maybe it's true of certain things, but it just seems like if you can make it work in some way, like whether it's just beating your own score or it's playing against like a full bot or something in between, like it can only lead to more people getting to play and getting to enjoy your game.
It's more inclusive, surely.
Yeah, because like you see, like a lot of the live streams, it has to be a solo mode. Like as soon as something is kind of 2-player plus or more, it really limits like what I can cover. And Rach isn't like, although she has played a billion of them, Rach isn't into the heavier Euro-y things. Never really has been as much as I am. And so like Rach is released from having to play all of these things like in the early days. She just had to play everything because there probably wasn't a solo mode for
Literally
all of
all
it.
the weekend that was spare was taken with playing games.
You've got to learn something new every day, Rach. But yeah, I can't see why it would kind of die down now. And like sometimes it doesn't work out so well. Sometimes it does feel like it's just like a tacked on thing and you really need more people for this. But you know, at least they tried with something. Like some solo is like only a few weeks ago we were playing the Gallerist again, and like it's such a simple solo mode that and it's still like my favorite. There are arguably better solo modes on the newer ones that are designed by David Turczi that are like emulating how you would need to play in an actual game. So that's like a plus, that solo people aren't necessarily having a different experience. They can have like some of the same feeling as they would in the proper game. But at the same time, it's so nice just having like such a simple bot with no upkeep or anything on it. Yeah, I think surely it will have brought more people into it. That I don't know how. Like it's always like increasing, isn't it? I don't know that like more people are finding board games exponentially. Maybe they are. Like it doesn't feel as booming, but we're a bit more outside it at times of not having like a shop and stuff.
I mean, a lot more games are in places like Waterstones and that.
Yeah, it is slowly getting there. Like we did go to a big Waterstones, didn't we? Oh, we were in Birmingham.
Yeah.
The Birmingham Waterstones is like got a full-on great big wall with all Asmodee things, but
No, there's Gloomhaven.
quite a range of Asmodee things, rather than the few that we find in ours. and American supermarkets are like much more up with it. It seems like from our tiny number of visits, definitely more into it than ours. But yeah, it seems like if you can get something that works, even if it's a different feel to the multiplayer one, why wouldn't you put a solo mode in it? Steve, since subscriber only mode was turned on, I don't think you've had to wield your wrench at all. It's strange, isn't it? You'd think they'd be able to program a bot to subscribe and do these things. Hey, boost the numbers up, wouldn't it? Rach getting excited to clean up the shelves. Rach don't want to clean up the shelves.
I'm pleased they're empty, but I'm not cleaning them.
Yeah. Well, like, the shelves don't really look much different, but there is a pile of games that was probably as tall as me that isn't here anymore. A lot of them are on the shelves now, but yeah, that's the ideal, isn't it? That's what I'd gotten it to last kind of UK Games Expo time. I had gotten it down to all of the games are on the shelves, but things slip. There's so many good things to try. You've got to try them all, haven't you? Oh, the Occam Horror Board, yeah. It was huge. Oh, is Feast for Odin getting reprinted? Oh, good. I think, like, Norwegian's been really hard to get, hasn't it? For years now. And I keep seeing, like, I'm subscribed to threads, I think, on Board Game Geek discussing, like, a new big box expansion that seems like it's been in development for many years now. I wonder if that's gonna come out as well. Get to keep Gallerist and Feast for Odin. Well, yeah. They're like permanents. Gallerist is behind Rach. Feast for Odin's on some different shelves. Hey Steve, do you think you've done a Hoffman Marcus playthrough? Any plans? Not currently. I'd really like to play it. It seems very cool. It's like it's chip theory games, Rach. Like Too Many Bones. But it's you're Roman Gladiator. And I think like isn't one box is multiplayer gladiator fighting, and the newer one is like a solo campaign, but you can use bits from one in the other, something like that. I'd really like to. I can't really afford to dive into it, unfortunately, is the reason that I haven't got Too Many Bones behind me. But yeah, I'd be interested. Chip theory. I don't know why I'm looking at that monitor to say it. Hey, hit me up. I'll do your playthrough. I'll try my best. There's a lot of things going on in them. Oh, thanks, Joel. I'm glad you like the Hadrian's Wall campaign. It's been amazing to do it. It's taken me a lot longer than I thought it would to do it. Yeah, like even trying to do that once a month, it's hard to fit in. But yeah, I've really enjoyed doing it. It's nice having, like, same for the episodic things. It's nice going back to something, especially Hadrian's Wall, going back to it often enough that I don't really have to panic about learning something before the stream. You still got to set it up and get all of the angles sorted and that, but largely it's just playing a game rather than the downside of doing just so many different games. Really, it's not normal, is it, to learn like 3+ new heavy well, not always heavy, but it's not the way things would usually work, that you would learn like 3 big meaty Euro games every week. Not that I do every single week, but it's nice, like, returning to things as well as doing new things. Because for years as well, I think this might have been a question later. Won't look down, but like especially there was a bit that we got into. There was a few years maybe where everything that we played pretty much was for the channel as well, whether it was like a new prototype or a new game that had been released. There was always like,
oh, we've got to play this. We've got to play this now.
There was a certain point where it had gotten to, what are we playing this weekend?
Yeah, I'd go, well, what are we playing? Yeah.
We've got to play, like, there's this list of things that needs to be played.
The phrase, what have we got to play this weekend? Like, what have we got to play? It was, yeah.
Yeah, but in recent
years... It's not
like
that now.
No, in recent years, it's nice, like... It's nice having the chance to go back to things as well. And seeing as well, like... So I'd kind of made it as well, that the channel is... You got to keep doing the latest stuff. And I still think now, like, whenever I'm doing a stream of something old, like, oh, I should be doing... That's a new game. that I'm not getting to do a video for, but it's a lot easier balancing that stuff out. It's a lot easier to refresh myself on one of these, even if I still make mistakes and things. It's a lot easier to broadly refresh myself on a game than learn an entirely new one. But yeah, that we'll keep doing a regular campaign, and I hope that like people seem to really be enjoying the. I think they have every time, but people seem to be really enjoying the Eldritch Horror episode, which I was really pleased with. Is there 2 now up on the main channel? The 3rd one is up on Patreon. But yeah, there's the 2nd one is up, and it's cool seeing and people are excited about it and engaged in the story we've got going on. So yeah, I'd like to do some different episode-y things, because like, as much as someone commented today actually that has seen the finale that would like to see some more Eldritch Horror, I'm wary of not annoying the people that don't care about it. I'm going to have some balance, but yeah, it will return at some point. There's a lot of different things to do in it. Where was I? Storytime with Rach is always good. It is always good.
Thanks.
Rach has got a teacher reading voice. There's a lot of storytime with Rach.
Yeah.
There's the playthrough that we recorded the other day is pretty much. Oh, there's a bit of storytime with me, but it's almost entirely storytime with Rach.
Yeah, and for those that know me very well, the ending is interesting.
Richard had
very quickly read.
Richard had enough of the game by the end of it. So Marty was about to curl up. Card played. Oh, for Dungeon Alliance. Yeah, I do really want to play it. Maybe that should be our weekend thing, Rach. Might be great.
Well, you haven't sold it. You've made it sound very hard.
I don't think nothing is going to be as hard as Mage Knight, surely. Maybe that 18XX game I played. Is it 1854? It was great, but it blew my mind in many different ways. Joel, you should get Frostpunk and play a campaign. That is something that needs to happen. Like I have got Frostpunk and we have played it. We basically it took a while, but I think we killed everyone quite effectively. If that was the aim of the game, we'd be getting the big scores.
It was very much like playing a video game, but it took a lot longer.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it is going to happen. I've got a copy, and it's just like at the moment with all of the things with deadlines that I need to do, it keeps getting pushed back, which I'm not happy about because it's been pushed back like 3 months or something now. I don't want to be not doing it, but yeah, it's gonna happen. Hopefully next month. I hope that I can get it done, because yeah, that would be a nice story. That should be on the list actually. That should have been on Story Sunday's list. Unfortunately, the story is going to be a grim one about me failing to.
It should be on there because it's one that I've sat down and actually learned how to play so that you could play it with me.
Yeah.
So if I've taken the time, it needs to be filmed.
And yeah, like the bad thing as well. Like it's pretty involved. It needs a lot of learning. But now it's been 2 months since then? Maybe not 2 months.
A month probably.
And so like I'm panicking that like I don't want to forget it. I'm sure it's all just going to spring back as soon as we get right back into it. Steve, you found the Kitchen Rush video. It's unlisted and was for the 2018 Kickstarter. Yeah, list it here, please.
Why are you unlisting it? What does that mean? That it doesn't come up?
No, unlisting is like what we do to like the early videos and stuff. So anyone with the link can watch it, but you can't search for it or anything.
So all those bloopers are just there, not?
Well, it's not blooper.
No one being watched.
It's the thing where we it's at the end of the Kitchen Rush video as well, I think. I'm pretty sure it's like at the end of that. It's hard to see the unlisted videos because it's just kind of a sea of the initial version of a video that then got fixed after Steve noticed all the things that were wrong with it. But it used to just be
Well, Steve's put
the things that didn't go up. Because I think there are some, like, there's one more playthrough I've got, or maybe there's 2 playthroughs that were filmed in like 2017 and got lost that I've found again, and just having the time to edit them. But there were some. I think there's some things from ages ago in the channel. Like, this is lying to me about how many videos are in this unlisted list. Why is the top 10 Uwe Rosenberg games unlisted? Maybe there's something wrong with it. Usually, if something's unlisted. I did a video of the new studio. Never went up. Slay the Spire. Never went up. I don't know what's happening with all of that stuff. Mystic Vale playthrough? They went up, didn't they? I'm just digging through the archives of my channel now. Oh yeah, that playthrough that for some reason never happened. Top 10 complex games. Did I do that? Have I got top 10s and stuff that I never did? Oh yeah, I was going to do a series where I revisited the things from the beginning, where I went back to the old videos and talked about what I thought about those games now. I filmed an episode of that in 2019 and I wasn't happy with it. Imperium's unlisted because now there's a new... So, like, if you don't know, like, Imperium Classics and Legends, it was on Kickstarter originally in 2018. It, like, looking... Well, there's still the same artwork, but the game itself was quite different. I did a playthrough for that. But when the new version came out, I thought it'd confuse loads of the other stuff. But I feel like somewhere...
That's Kitchen Rush Party.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's Kitchen Rush Party. Yeah, maybe. So it was on the 2018 Kickstarter thing. But I thought there was like a Games of the Week, which is a thing I used to do quite early on. Like a weekly news thing. I feel like there was an episode of that had my brother in it. When he was like desperate to be a little YouTuber.
Yeah,
but I don't think it ended up in the thing that went on the channel. But I feel like he was in... Maybe it was just like the raw footage that he was in. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, you can see him in... What was he in?
The Book of Wonders.
Oh yeah,
Wonder Book, yeah.
Yeah, you can see my brother in the Wonder Book playthrough as a kind of impromptu. He was here, so he's getting roped into a playthrough. And you can see my sister in a Friends board game that we did. Marty's had enough now. He wants just covering his eyes.
Hiding.
I'm getting behind. What was that? Oh yeah, Kitchen Rush. Shiffy, how many games are on your shelf of shame at the moment? I don't know.
A ton.
A frightening amount, really. It's not good. It's constantly at the point where there's like tough decisions to be made when I have to clean up the shelves of games that I really love. That I can't keep that many, but also I have to look at a load of things. Just feel like I've had this 2+ years now. Games that I've bought, not games that I've had to make videos for. But yeah, there were things that I had for a birthday like 2 years ago. I thought, well, I've had no time for this, and I'm not as inclined anymore. So yeah, there's a few things like that end up going. That's why, like, Dungeon Alliance is one of the permanent, like, no, I want to play this. I'm not giving up on that. How many do you reckon, Rach? 20? It's probably not.
What, games that you've bought that we haven't played?
Yeah,
Way
that
more
I
than
haven't
20.
played.
Way more.
That we both haven't played, there's loads.
There's several downstairs.
30?
Probably 30.
Maybe 30. Yeah, but that is partly from, like...
Which, of course, is way more than 20.
Partly from being brutal as well and having to cull the shelf of shame before they even get a chance. Disney, yeah, it was Disney World, not Disneyland. We've never been to Disneyland. Either of the Disneylands.
Why would you go to Disneyland when you can go to Disney World?
I'd like to go to California.
Yeah.
It'd be cool seeing the differences, but I don't remember a lot of Disney World.
You're
now,
not so much
at this
Disney
point.
anyway. You're like Universal.
Yeah, I'm a Universal guy. It was a mistake going to all of the thrill rides of Universal first and then seeing Disney World. I'd probably like it more now. I've changed, Rach. I'm a mellow kind of guy. But yeah, Florida. Have you ever had any personal struggles that affected your board gaming life? I suppose, like, just what we said earlier, really, about when it had devolved to a point, well, not devolved, when it had gotten to a point that all of our gaming time was, we have to play this thing because I need to do a video about it. And like, there's been several times where I don't know if it's ever gotten to like full proper burnout, but there's been like big chunks where outside the channel I'm not playing board games at that time. Sometimes it's just like the way I am with things that like,
you get like
obsessed
quite
with
obsessed with things. So if like, so for example, a really good video game comes out that you want to play, e.g. Death Stranding, then that is literally what you'll do in all your free time.
Yeah.
Until it's done.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen very often. Like there was probably like, yeah, sometimes it's just like I've gotten really into something. But there's definitely been times where I've just not had the buzz for like just playing with my free time. Probably because like I'm doing this a lot, like filming or streaming and stuff. I don't think it's happened for quite a while now though.
No, no, but sometimes you'll just do it every now and then. But I would say the past few weeks you've played more in your free time as well. You gain into that.
I'm on a buzz at the moment.
That buzz.
Yeah, we've got. I've been playing Darkest Night for the first time. It's great. But yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. But that's like, I'd say I've got a better balance now. I'm still trying to work it out. Like I feel like I always feel that I've got the wrong balance of I'm doing too many live things and I'm not doing any recorded videos anymore. Or I'm doing too many solo things and not doing enough two-player things. So it's hard to like ever get that right. But I think part of that is just the way I am, and that there is never going to be a balance that I would be happy with. That's kind of the main thing. Just like, you just got to make stuff. And generally, I think it seems to be that like people that are watching and people that are Patreoning and stuff, that you're generally happy with me doing stuff that I want to do or stuff that I want to show you. And it is like influenced by the vote and stuff. Like that determines a lot of the stuff that happens. Do you think popularity of your channel changed the way you played board games? I think these were the questions that I saw that I said we're going to link in. Any pressures or incentives? There's like, there was the time pressure really. A big thing as well has been saying no to more things. I've always been kind of.
Well, you need to do more stuff.
Yeah, I've always tried to only say yes to something that I think we would like, and I think I've gotten better and better at being wrong about that. Well, I've gotten better at being right about it. So like there'd definitely be times where I've done something and it turned out, oh no, this isn't our kind of game at all.
Yeah, I would say sometimes you do more research into what they're asking, like not just glancing at the rule book or whatever. You have a really good before they send it to you, for example.
I think I've just got a better sense of it. Yeah. It's like I'd always read the rule book, but
more in depth perhaps. It'd
be kind of like, oh, this feeling of game didn't occur to me, like when I first looked at it. I don't think that happens as much anymore. But like, I don't know, because people you don't really get set deadlines, unless it's like for a Kickstarter video, you don't get set deadlines most of the time that, oh, we'll send you this game, can you do it by this point? Because it would be really tough as well to say, like, I've got to do it around a job as well. But yeah, there's a pressure from me that I don't want to keep people waiting, and people often have to wait months for me to be able to make a video. And sometimes that's like, well, all the time it's just time. Sometimes it's that I want or need Rach to be in it, and Rach has got a full proper job that she has to do. So sometimes that factors into it. But like, I don't know, it's hard to say because there's always like unconscious bias in things, isn't there? But I feel like the biggest thing that it comes down to is, do I think that I will enjoy the game? Like, it's rubbish when someone that I really like, or a company that has been really nice to me in the past, is all excited about this game, and then I have to go like, I think I'd be I don't think I'd like it at all. Like, generally it's just the kind of game it wouldn't fit us, and I would be rubbish showing it off, because you just know, like, that's not my kind of thing. Like, if I was advertising like a full-on dueling game, I know there's been a couple of videos for things like that, but they've had a solo mode. I don't mind beating up a bot. Who minds that? And like, you'd think more maybe in the discussions after the games, like, I don't do like first impressions reviewy videos as much anymore, but when I used to do them for every single game, it became more of a thing. Like, you'd finish playing and try and figure out, like, what am I going to say about, what do I think about this, which is nice in a way, but also like it's pressure that, like, when I did it for every game, you'd have to think, like, you are going to have to say what you think about this thing and try and make it make sense. And it's like, there's a lot of pressure off not doing it for every single game. Sheffy, do you prefer to play a game solo against a bot or against yourself? I think, like, a couple of years ago, and it's probably in my, like, solo top 10s and stuff, used to be all for just do bots. But I think I've come around more to, like, just beat your own score. It depends how it's done. Because, like, say in the Gallerist, there is a bot, and it does have an effect on, like, the tiles that are available. There's a timer ticking down and all that stuff. But the biggest thing is, how are you going to manipulate this entire big game by yourself and meet these goals? I think that's kind of a thing that I really like. Like, bots are great, and I think if, like, this was the big new Euro game that I would be playing loads for weeks, months ahead, and I would get all of the routine and the little flowcharts and stuff in my head, it would be absolutely fantastic. Sometimes, like, say with I don't know what, with Darwin's Journey, there was another one that I played solo recently where it's just like, it works very well, and if I was playing it loads, it would sink in and stuff quickly. But as someone jumping from game to game, the bots can get, like, a bit much to keep in your head and keep everything straight with. It is nice sometimes just having something like Atua, where the solo mode is, here is the normal game, but your workers aren't going to come off the board at the end of the round. They're going to stay on the board for 3 rounds, so prepare for that. Like, it worked fantastically in Feast for Odin. There's no solo mode to speak of, really, but your workers from last round stay on the board next round, so you can't keep taking the same actions. Like, I do really like that kind of thing, and saying, like, the Gallerist having those goals to reach a certain tier rather than have just a particular score. You maybe have to get a certain score, but you've also got to do all of these other things as well. That really works well. It worked great in Distilled as well, that I did. Did I do that last week? Time has no meaning. But yeah, that has a kind of ladder where you need to do, like, a goal on each level. That worked really well as well. Like, I like that kind of goal system. And it did have a bit of a target score and stuff as well. I think I'm leaning more in that direction at the moment. Hey, Elvis. Best 3 games. Thank you for the congrats. Best 3 games of 2023 so far. Rach, what have been your top 3 games of 2023? Have we had many that count as just 2023? We've had a lot of... What did you say, sorry?
What have we played?
We've had a lot of catch-up sessions, haven't we? It depends how you class it. For us, if you're classing it as just something that we got in 2023, which you might, depending on where you are in the world, count as 2022, and Trespass Odyssey, we've enjoyed a lot. We are, like, 1% of the way through the box, probably.
However, we have packed it away, so...
Yeah, things need to stay out on the table to keep getting played. But it takes up the room. It is still taking up the room because the box is enormous and it's just in the living room.
It's taking up the armchair.
I really liked our Iranian Burger Canal. Rach hasn't played it. I don't know if she would like it. Technically, no, I think that arrived this year. Ignoring, like, Kickstarter games that I've done, like, previewy things for. Does Heat count as a 2023 game? I couldn't get it until 2023, I don't think. I really enjoyed Heat.
People still can't get it in 2023.
No,
so...
like, it's still not, like, coming to stock for a load of people.
Did it even come out in 2023?
So,
Maybe
like,
it came out in 2024.
You could argue that they're 2022 games, but Iranian Burger Canal, and Trespass Odyssey...
We played Fuse.
Oh, yeah. Forget everything that I said. It's the new Fuse.
And obviously, the other game that we played, that I don't even remember what it's called, but I was such an expert at it.
Oh yeah, that's not a 2023 game. We're trying to play through of For the King and Me, the reimagined big.
No, not that. The cowboy game. That I got the best score that the designer ever
Oh,
seen.
Pioneer Rails. Yeah, that's one of the ones that is on Kickstarter. Hey, check out the Pioneer Rails playthrough. It's on
Just
Kickstarter.
watch
right
my
now.
play. You'll never see me play such a good game ever again.
Yeah, Rach is chuffed with the feedback. Never seen such a high score.
Best score he's ever seen.
But yeah, the new standalone expansion to Fuse is amazing, but Fuse is one of our favourite games ever. So just more of it is fantastic. It's harder though, and we have lost all of the skill at Fuse that we used to have. I really like Turing Machine as well. That's really good. If you're into your deduction. Where was I? What theme does Rach like? What theme do you like, Rach?
I like a good Roman theme.
Yeah, Rach
I like a
loves
fantasy,
Augustus.
I like a fantasy theme. Yeah, but I like Trajan. That's
Rach's favourite games are like Augustus, Trajan.
Augustus and Trajan.
Yeah, that's those two. I don't know if you played with him more.
No, I did like Hadrian's Wall. If
Yeah,
that
you like
counts.
Hadrian's Wall?
I like a fantasy theme. If it's got dragons, I like dragons. I like being a warrior, I guess.
You've liked fashion?
I have liked fashion, depending.
Well, yeah. You
I like food, depending. I don't like growing food, for example, in Agricola.
you don't like having to feed your
but
family.
if it's, I don't know, running a restaurant, then maybe that would be okay.
A
Let me
kitchen
just have,
rush.
I like a space theme, but it depends because I don't like some space games. I like quite a few themes.
I don't know that theme really.
I could get down with any theme.
Yeah, I don't know that
think.
theme really bothers you.
But I do
And-
like a good Roman game.
Yeah. And apart from maybe a few things, like we're talking about this because of Darkest Night, we got Darkest Night in something like 2015, something like that, at a convention. Rach saw Darkest Night and wanted it, which is like, stands out in my mind because generally, like I'm the one that's obsessively looking up all these games and getting them and teaching them and that. And Rach will be presented with a game to play. But there have been a few occasions where Rach is the seeker outer.
Yeah, but we never played it that time.
We didn't.
It sat on the shelf for a very long time.
That was first edition Darkest Night. It was on the shelf for years, and then we thought, we're never going to play this, sell it. Things come round again, though. Rach likes, mechanically, she likes race games, but has...
I would say
Over the years,
over
gotten-
time, gotten worse.
Yeah, Rach used to win every single race kind of game.
Although
without fail.
I did win the game of Heat that we
You
played.
didn't win Heat. I did something very stupid. Oh, and I was playing... We didn't realise till the end, this is my get out of jail free with it, I was playing without any upgrades in my deck because I'd been streaming it, so...
I did some really good.
Null and void.
I did some really, really good slipstreaming in that
Yeah,
game.
I spun out in like the first corner of the game and never really managed to catch up. But I was kind of... I was being the teacher. I was showing you what not to do. Victorium is solo. Yeah, so is that the solo campaign one? They're standalones, aren't they? So that's like that. That's the solo campaign box. But you could also get normal Hoplomachus and mix them together. That shows with all the games on. So we just do Cult of the New. Yeah, it's hard as well because like sometimes you'll be surprised that like going back to something really seems to like catch on. And I say it's always nice to just.
But I
You-
think
you
there is
relearn.
that worry that people won't care.
Yeah, like there's like a core of people, I'm very grateful to, that like want to see me do stuff, right? And like generally, like
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean other people.
yeah, if you like, there are some people that
New
just want
viewers.
to watch a stream, but yeah, like you are gonna get the most people watching and finding you if you do something for like the latest hotness, really. And it's hard to like at the same time you can't really compete with especially like American companies. Often it's American streamers, just logistically that makes sense that like you can get the games to them. It's like without having ridiculous shipping costs across the world. It makes sense, but yeah, it's hard for a lot of the time. I do get, especially around Essen time, I do get a lot of tasty nuggets ahead of the show. But yeah, unless you're kind of really early in on something. I don't think I ever was great at that or cared too much about it. But yeah, there's more of a, I would rather be having fun and going back to something every now and then rather than, it's like a treadmill, isn't it, that you need to keep filling YouTube with the videos, and it needs to be the latest thing, and at a certain point just like there are too many rules in my head. There's still plenty of new videos happening, but yeah, it's maybe a better balance of things happening. Doug loves your voice, Rach.
Thanks.
Where
I hate hearing my
Paul.
voice.
I've just noticed your name pop up. I'm so behind. I haven't even seen you. I don't know if you're still here. Are you here, Paul? Hey, Monica. I've just got to when you arrived. I don't know when that was.
A long time ago.
That's it. I'll have to be quicker. Marty needs a light
Just like
shade.
talking.
He does need... he needs a dedicated light, really, doesn't he? He's not so bad now. Now he's on that chair. Because there's no light pointed at him, basically. They're pointed kind of at us. So he's just getting, like, the back
he's
of it.
snoozing.
Yeah. He's snoozing. But, like, as well, like, these cameras are a right pain. I bought these thinking they were going to be amazing and I was going to film the playthroughs with them. Massively disappointed with them. But the thing that I've got, see, you see it in the in the live streams that I do where I've got no background on. The thing that I've got suddenly makes them, I don't know if anyone will care about this, it suddenly makes them like the quality they're meant to be. I don't know how it does it, but it can also turn the background off, Rach. Look at that. We're just in space. The magic. Maybe we should have just done it like this the whole time. It's a bit dodgy sometimes, and I don't know if it's meant to handle two people, but technology, eh? Especially for a room that is too small and awkward to have an actual green screen in. It's amazing that I can do that again. I still like the Kitchen Rush video.
I'm just thinking about when you used to have that green circle on your chair.
Yeah, I've got like a portable green screen that velcros to the chair. It worked, but like as soon as you turned around, I just knocked everything off the shelf. So I'm sat right next to it. Or I would turn and you would suddenly see the shelves appear behind me.
Oh, funny. I hope you haven't broken your toe.
Oh yeah, Monica. Yeah, I hope you're okay. You train up your toe so it can beat the metal door one day. Joel, the background music track. What was the background? Was it that? I can't remember what it's called. It's called like Party Time or something. It always used to be on Harmontown. I can't remember what it's called. I remember it in my head. I should have organised. I should have known that this was going to come up and I could put it on screen now and listen to it. But yeah, I remember. I could. It's not going to ruin the. If I close the search results down, that's not going to help me. Oh, I can click on this, can't I? It's not going to be too loud, is it? It's a great video. Oh yeah, that music. I don't know if it's coming through on the microphone, but well, you can click on the Kitchen Rush video, scroll up in the chat. Steve posted it. It's a great video. I just noticed that there was a funny rhythm to how we were saying some of the names of the exotic culinary delights that are in Kitchen Rush. Look at that old phone. I remember that phone. That's my red phone, wasn't it? White on the front, red on the back. How times have changed. That blue felt background. I remember having to buy new bits of felt all the time because they were caked in Marty's fur, like everything is in the entire house. Can hardly get it out of everything. This purple background has lasted
It's looking a bit.
a couple of years now, but it's looking rough in places now. It's a shame. Can't have anything nice. Yeah, watch that Kitchen Rush video. It was weird when I had to be like. When I clicked on the Pursuit of Happiness video again, I was thinking, should I get that felt and stuff again so it really looks like it? I didn't in the end, but it's like a right blast from the past looking at them again. Hey, Paul. Monica, could you point out 3 games in the shelf behind you haven't played in a while, and why haven't you? Loads of them. We haven't played New Frontiers for maybe like 2+ years. I was late to it, but we played it. Like I think it hasn't got a solo mode, has it? Yeah, we played it as us two, and we played it as all four of us, didn't we, with our friends, and everyone loved it. Like the Race for the Galaxy board game. It's so good. I haven't played. It's just underneath Rach's arm. It's underneath Detective. I haven't played Imperial for a few years now, and especially Steve's waiting for me to do a video for Imperial. I will do it. I don't forget, but there's no time for things.
Well,
What's like that's visible on screen? I haven't played Spirit Island since whenever I introduced it to everybody, and they weren't that keen on it, really. It's because, like, maybe it's different now with expansions and things. I've got it into my head that I don't really enjoy it completely solo as much, but this is kind of years ago that I was thinking this, so maybe I'm wrong with Jagged Earth and everything plugged into it. Like, with one spirit, that spirit's got a big weakness, and you've got to work to compensate that, and that is the puzzle of it, but I just much prefer it with two spirits. But the downside of doing two spirits solo is it can kind of get a bit full on and
And I would say
hard
if
to
we
handle.
were like, oh, let's play a game we haven't played in ages, it takes a while to learn.
Yeah. And like there are some shelves, I tell you that on the shelves that are lower down that aren't quite on camera, on the bottom shelf is Forge War. I haven't played Forge War since just before Gloomhaven arrived. So what's that? Is that 2018? Or is it 2017? 2018, right? I'm scared now. Like, just before I knew, like, oh, it was arriving, this is the perfect time to do Forge War, which is Isaac Childress's game before he was Dr. Gloomhaven. And it's such a fantastic, long, complicated game. You are like the patrons, the money men behind the fantasy adventurers that go on quests. So you decide which quests they're going on. You equip them with things and recruit people and level them up. It's such a fantastic, involved game from my memory of like 5 years ago. And the solo game is very punishing though. If you can't take a new quest every single round, you lose. So, like, I had been playing it for quite a while, lost, and then was like, well, that's not good enough. Need to do it again another day when I can win it, and deleted it. And, like, now, what were you doing? You could do it again one day and win. You could have uploaded the one where you lost, but no, I deleted it. I regret that. But yeah, I that's another one that I feel like in some ways it's too long, but you can play it fast forwarded. You can jump to like the later eras and all of that stuff. But the pinnacle of playing it, I think we maybe did it once where we played an actual. It was probably over a couple of sessions, an actual like from era one all the way through this amazing long game. I can't remember what the question was, but Forge War is the answer to it. It's great. Okay, it's not quite on camera, but it is kind of. I was going to say Far Space Foundry, but we did play that not too long. We played it about a year ago, didn't we? I've always been really into Far Space Foundry. Rach has never been. The revisit didn't make you any more fussed about it than you were when I originally got it. Flatline we haven't played for ages. I can picture him in mind what's on all these shelves.
What 3 games? You've gone to 6 now.
But on that little shelf there, Flatline is that one where you can see the Renegade logo. Is it? Or is that the Search for Planet X?
It's the bottom one.
It's the bottom one. Yeah, that's the Search for Planet X, isn't it? The black one is Flatline. Flatline, Far Space Foundry. It's not Horrified anymore, is it?
Planet X, then Horrified.
Oh, the other Horrified's on that shelf. Hey, would you like me to describe what's on each of the shelves and get it wrong? A lot. Flatline though. We should be doing we'll do a great big stream where we do Fuse, then Flatline, then Fuse Countdown. It would be an agonising stream of us losing real-time games. Downside of doing streams of real-time games is can't really say anything to you while they're happening because there's no time. Paul, are you looking forward to the Eurovision Song Contest in your country this May? Not really. I've never really been very bothered about the Eurovision Song Contest.
Just passes us by.
No. My mum was very into it, probably still is. I remember making
I don't really get it.
a CD that had all of the Eurovisions in it. So at some point I have heard most of them. I'm not really fussed. I've heard that Frankie Goes to Hollywood are reforming for it. I'll watch a clip of that. I don't know who's doing our song or what is going on with it, really. Paul, you finished rebuilding your Arkham Horror deck for next week. Gotta go tidy the house and relearn Cloudspire for tomorrow. Oh, that'll be no problem, right? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, Arkham Horror. I need to watch that stream. You're doing Edge of the Earth, right? Me and Rach played that. That was our first one back, wasn't it? When I got the game back. I played it solo a bit, and our duo campaign was,
it was good.
Edge of the Earth. Loved it.
I think I was Monterey Jack in that one.
Oh, and I was Lily Shen, wasn't
Yeah.
I? Yeah. Oh, we had a great time.
Love it.
By the end of that campaign,
Although
Lily Chen was
still,
taking down so much
Joe
stuff.
Diamond's still the absolute bay, but Monterey Jack was close second.
We need to get back on some Arkham Horror. We've had a couple of months hiatus from playing that in our private lives. What's the earliest video that you wish you could redo with the new equipment? Everyone. Like, same clicking back and watching that Pursuit of Happiness video. There's so many times where I was like, some of it was conscious, right? I wanted to be like I can't be all boom bap. Like, I don't want to make videos like other people exactly anyway, but I'm not going to be this like louder than life.
I thought you were going to say boombastic.
Yeah, I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to talk how I normally talk and just say, hi everyone, I'm teaching you this game, right? But it turns out that that's a bit boring. Like, you're doing a bit of a boring voice doing that. And like, I'm not putting on a voice, but talking, like, rather than just being a bit quiet in it. I wouldn't change them all from being handheld. I do miss the handheld in a way. Doing Pursuit of Happiness handheld this week, I remembered a lot of the problems and why ultimately it's a lot easier and nicer doing it. It's a lot more claustrophobic and tougher doing it handheld. And you're constantly worrying about, is my arm shaking too? How can I make this shake less? But on the flip side of that, you get a much closer view, you get a proper, like, I don't have to worry about, this is far away from the screen and you can't read the text on it. Like, handheld, you can see it all, we're right close. But, yeah, I've had the time.
Yeah.
Go back to loads of them. I did notice as well that, like, I think part of it is because of that time when we were still, like, getting into things, or I was getting into them solo, or because of the channel and stuff. 2016, or maybe it was just that good a year, has got a much bigger concentration of games that we still have. And, like, there were a lot of things, partly because Kickstarters started creeping in as well. Like, getting asked to do videos for Kickstarters, which I wasn't getting asked at all in the start, obviously, because who'd know I was. But, yeah, going through, when I was doing the vote of revisits, there were some big chunks to skip past that, like, I haven't got these games anymore, or that was a Kickstarter that I've never had a copy of. I don't know why that came to me. But yeah, loads of them. I think could look loads nicer because, like, as well, they're all just 1080. They're all just filmed. This is the camera that I got. It's not the first one, actually. The first videos are all filmed on an iPhone on a Poundland tripod that's stacked on top of a load of boxes, and there's no microphone, so the sound's terrible because it's just the iPhone's mic from even before they had better technology about recording that. And then I had that camera that's pretty cheap and pretty unsteady. The other ones are attached to things, so I won't yank them off. But yeah, they're very cheap microphones and stuff off Amazon. I was like, it hopefully sounds a lot better now. I did notice in the Pursuit of Happiness one, I was using Rach's mic, and it's not a very expensive microphone. It is more convenient. There was a nicer microphone that used to be in front of Rach, but it was in the way, wasn't it, Rach?
Of what?
Of you.
I just don't like leaning in.
If we put the microphone close to Rach's mouth, where it's meant to be, it'd get in the way of you playing the game.
And don't look at it either.
That's the problem I've got.
Oh, I always just get, speaking to the mic, to the mic. Put your mouth at the mic.
Close to the mic.
Frustrating.
And the problem,
filming like that.
The problem we have with any mics is that I'm a lot louder than Rach, so...
Unless we're doing, like, full-on reading story time, then I'm a bit louder.
Is Paul, when will we get another stream with you and Tom playing a game? Hey, Paul can answer that. But we haven't got plans to. We're meant to be at some point when we can work it out. We're doing some kind of Mage Nighty thing, I think. Because I think, what was the last thing we did, Paul? Was it Concordia?
I was asking Paul, he's probably not even
Maybe
here
he's not
anymore.
even here now. I'm looking in the past, aren't I? When are you going to do a playthrough of Rebuild in Seattle? I haven't got it. So can you get it? Or is it like I can't copy and paste from the chat for some reason? I haven't played it yet, or honestly seen anything about it. But what are we doing? Rebuilding. It is out here. I can get it. We haven't had many games arrive lately, have we, Rach? I think there's room for one more.
Had loads.
I'll have to put it on my list.
Too many.
It's got solo, Rach. I'll have to look into that. Click on Paul's video. Luckily, a top 10 game this year. High praise. I'll have to give it a go. Yeah, I think you just get better at, like... I knew probably from, like, probably by 2016, before the channel existed, I was pretty firm on we don't like games where we fight each other. I like quite Euro-y things. But, yeah, there's just kind of more nuance and, better stuff for it. Yeah, Paul's put the email that you get from a lot of things. I get a lot of that template of email offering me Steam codes for strange, like, little video games. That's fair enough, very generous of you, but I'm a board game channel. It's not I don't think people would be particularly happy with me doing a completely unrelated video for this video game you want. A game based on Cards Against Humanity. Yeah, it's there seems to be less of those getting suggested these days. But yeah, usually it's like, oh yeah, we know so much about your channel, we love it so much. Hey, here's this 10+ player game that we'd like you to cover. Like, do you know my channel? It's me. It's just me. There is a game on its way about strippers, isn't there?
Is there?
I can't remember what it's called. I don't know anything about, like, mechanically or anything. I think I've just seen the cover posted in a Facebook group.
Like where you are a stripper?
I'm not sure.
Or you manage
I don't know. I've just seen the cover. I don't know. Is it called Exotic Dancer or something like that? I can't really remember. But I think it's something that is coming to Kickstarter.
Interesting.
Mage Knights. Oh, it's prototype, Monica. Is it the next in the Motor City series? It was Pioneers Rails. Oh, you played it at Aircon. Oh, great. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but James, did you beat my score?
Yeah,
what we need to
unless
know.
you beat Rach's masterful score. If Rach might like Red Cathedral. I really want to try Red Cathedral. Like, last I heard, it was probably a bit of a while ago now, but last I heard
I don't know
Red Cathedral was on the way. We've never played it because it's never materialized. Or maybe I'll just have to track down a copy for myself. Do you like or prefer to play games well? If so, when you prepare for the playthrough, do you study strategy guides, tips and tricks, or discover them on your own? I like to play well. The most important thing, though, is that I try and just get it right is the biggest panic. Like, I used to be a lot more worried early on. Like I say, in Forge War, like, I played it for like 2 hours. I filmed it for like 2 hours and then lost probably not even halfway through the game and was like, well, that's over then. Like, who's going to watch a video where I lose? And now, she's like, well, yeah, like, I haven't got the time to practice it over and over again to get good at it a lot of the time. Like, it would be nice to... That's the flip side of it, really, that by wanting to play so many things, you can't keep trying to get better at other things. And, like, something like Mage Knight, I'm relearning every time I play it.
I would also say that you're very good at figuring out like a good strategy after one play.
Yeah, sometimes.
And I would say probably that's due to experience of just games.
Yeah, there's certain things that seem to click a lot better. And like there could just be flukes as well, but like one of the Scholars of the South Tigris streams, the Legacy of You stream, there's certain things like that, both Garfield games, that wasn't on purpose, there's where it all seems to click, like sometimes right at the start, or sometimes like it's been impossible and then it all just kind of clicks into place. I don't feel like that's consciously from anything that I've done, and it might just be luck. But yes, sometimes like things seem to click more with me, but it's maybe because I've played a lot of those kinds of games. Even though they're doing something new in themselves, things might just jump out at me quite nicely. But I don't really look at strategy guides and stuff because I don't really have time. The main panic is, like, even with games that I'm sure I know pretty well, the panic before the stream starts or filming starts is that, what if I forget all of this stuff? Hey, 18xx training. Oh, thank you. Oh, you recently started watching. I've been introduced to many solo games. Oh, brilliant. I hope you enjoy them. Rach, what about Pulsar 2849? I don't think you liked Pulsar 2849 a bit. I think that that's maybe one of the only Vladimir Suchi games. I think he's got some really old ones we haven't got, but that might be one of the only ones that we don't still have because it didn't play solo and you really didn't like it.
Did I check out of it early, or did
I think you played it all. It's Gaia Projects that was the spacey thing
totally
that you didn't play all the way.
Too hard. Like,
Pulsar wasn't as hard, but I don't think it clicked with you. But I don't think generally Vladimir Suchi's games click with you. You liked Praga, I think, more.
Nothing against you. I like Praga.
I think you like Praga.
I enjoyed that.
But generally, like, I'm the shipyard obsessive. Shipyard Underwater Cities. More of it. New shipyards coming out. What's going on with that? Shipyard with all 3D printed pieces. What's going on?
Can't wait to play that again.
For everyone that hasn't played Shipyard.
For a game that I don't particularly like that much, we have played that a lot of times over the years.
It didn't used to have a solo mode.
You know,
That's
at least
one where
20 times.
A lot of games where, especially if it doesn't play solo, there's been a lot of games where I've just been like, well, we'll have to move that along then.
Oh, should we play a game we haven't played for a while
Oh,
this weekend? Yeah, okay. Well, what about Shipyard?
Or Age of Steam, the movie. We've never played Age of Steam. Is it just Age of Steam? Has Railways of the World got a moon map? Not that we've got it anymore. We used to have Railways of the World.
Okay, so some examples of space games that I like: War for the Galaxy,
Welcome to the
Among
Moon.
the Stars, Welcome to the Moon.
I think Among the Stars still hasn't got a playthrough.
I'll just
That should
say,
have been
the Search for Planet X. I don't like logic games, but I did win that.
Yeah, you did. There's plenty of spacey things
Loads
about.
of things that I do like. Just you happen to mention two that,
We haven't got.
well,
Or don't have
definitely
any
didn't
more.
like.
The Iranian Burger Canal, great game. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. There is I don't know if it counts as a bonus playthrough. There's another one on Patreon, but I messed up a rule, so I don't know if it counts as an extra one anymore. How's your experience with video games lately? Rach, really into them, but just never really changed, has it?
Well,
You,
so I play more than you,
yeah.
for sure.
There's been definitely early on in board games and at certain times, like right now, I don't really care about playing any video games.
So
I'm into the board games.
Recently, I mean, it's probably over the past year because I started playing Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Yeah, it's not because I played Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Time number 1, maybe
think
May
so.
last year. Played all 3 Xenoblades recently. Legend of Heroes, I'm playing some of that.
What was the thing?
I like to play some little simulator games.
You like time management?
Time management.
Oh yeah, we played a lot of. We haven't played it for a while now. We played a ton of Final Fantasy. What was it called? The music game. Theatrhythm Final Fantasy Final Bar Line for the Switch. A music rhythm game that is just all Final Fantasy music. So if you like the Final Fantasies, it's amazing. And that kind of led to I really wanted to play some Final Fantasy. So I played 7 properly this time, all the way through, 100%. And I played 10 all the way through as well.
Yeah.
It's probably the last thing that I played, right? Oh, we played Diablo as well.
We played lots of
Diablo a
Demo
lot.
3, ready for Diablo 4 when
that was
comes
probably
out.
the last little.
That's your last little burst of
my little
video
list
game.
burst of video games.
But we like completed that within.
About a month or so ago. We played
it within like a week.
It was whenever the demo of the free weekend for Diablo 4 came out, and we played that, and then kind of got the bug for it and got Diablo 3 that I'd never played. I played, I don't know if it was even Diablo 2, maybe it was Diablo 1, yonks ago, so long ago now, and Diablo 3 is quite different to that. Really got into it, and we completed. There's no completing it, is there? We got to a stage where we were completed with it. We finished the season missions, didn't we? We didn't get to the stage of farming and filling in all of these little bits and getting your equipment 100%.
No, we've done the game.
Some lovely
Play some
clicking stuff.
like not necessarily city building, where you're the last of a civilization. You go out and you've got to build up your land and stuff. I like playing those games. No, but not
like settling games.
Yeah, settling games. Like there's a really good one on Steam called Banished. I really love that. There's some good little workshop mods on that.
Yeah, not like generally not like some big new release that we're playing. The Rhythm was new, wasn't it? That was in February or something when we got that.
You know,
that
we
was
do play some new releases, and like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 when I played that was new.
Yeah.
Played that brand new.
But generally, I'm tempted to play Death Stranding again.
You do have it.
I have it now. Rach gave me a code for it that she got from a little bundle. I'm very tempted. Death Stranding was amazing, but so it's like, am I going to stick to it?
The addiction might settle in.
Am I going to stick to it to play it for that long? Maybe I will. Played it whenever it came out. Buy a bigger home. That's just true.
We already did that. We already brought a bigger home.
We did that, and now I filled this one with board games as well. How big is the room? I don't remember any of the measurements of the rooms. Are they like 2 meters?
It's hard because we don't really have a gaming room, so this is the filming room with my computer at the side.
So it's kind of like
stuff. There's some games downstairs in the living room. That's not really a gaming room, but that is where we play.
That's where
games.
That's where the big table
the big
is.
table's
Well, like
there.
if you see, you can't actually see the table because of the felt, can you? But all of the playthroughs before we moved here were on that table because it's massive and.
It extends. This is not quite as big. Bigger.
This is not quite as big. This is an extender, but the room's not big enough for it to. This is like this is the best setup that I've had.
We don't really have a games room.
No.
But most of the games are in this room.
Yeah.
So I suppose it could technically
most of them are out the way.
And it's not very big at all.
Well, it's like that's
how big's this table?
That's 4 rows of
1.5 meters.
I think so, about that.
Okay, so what's this room?
Maybe about 3.
Maybe 3 meters,
3 meters
long, and then I can't remember how long. By maybe 2.5 meters.
Yeah, this it's something like that. They're 4 Kallax cubes, and that's the end of the room. And then this is 2 Billy bookcases and this table, and that is the room.
Not a very big room.
Mostly dedicated to game storage, isn't it? And the filming of them.
Oh, yeah.
Where was I?
Has it been 7 years of Marty on stream? Yes.
Mostly. Well, like Marty. Well, streaming in general didn't really start until probably a couple of years ago.
He's always appeared in your videos.
He's always popped up. There was a time, it was probably not long before we moved actually, there was a time where he'd taken to sitting in this little bed on the table. So you'll see me handheld camera and then just pan over to the side to see what Marty's up to. He's made little appearances and stuff.
His whole life.
Quite early on, this little class Marty's been in it most of the way. I can't remember exactly when it started, but the first, someone reminded me of this, someone commented on it. Just generally for getting Rococo jewellery box, getting the original Rococo. That was fairly early on. That's the first 2-player playthrough I ever did because didn't have a solo. It's the first game I ever did that didn't have a solo mode, and I needed a second player. So suddenly, Little Class Marty arrived. New Frontiers is okay, but like Roll for the Galaxy better.
I would agree.
Roll for the Galaxy is still the number 1. I'm always tempted to get Race for the Galaxy back again and give that a go, even if Rach didn't enjoy Race as much.
Why would you play that when you can play Roll for the Galaxy? I don't understand it.
It's a different feel, and it's got so many expansions that I never played.
Yeah, but it's just easier to pick up and play.
We never all of our plays of Roll for the Galaxy were with part of, like, maybe with the first expansion as well, but not many of our plays with Roll for the Galaxy are with the last double big expansion.
We have
Do you remember
played
the
it
one?
with
We have
them.
played it a couple of times when it came out, but like we've played Roll for the Galaxy tons of times. But I'd like to play it more with those expansions, the customizable dice and stuff. They were great. They
But
made it a lot
that's
more
definitely
complicated.
why we haven't got Race for the Galaxy anymore,
Yeah.
because we were like, we would rather
Roll's,
play that.
Roll's just so good. But I did really enjoy how New Frontiers did things. Probably need to rewatch King's Abbey to relearn it. King's Abbey. That was then like the first year of doing things, I think. That might have been one of those games that I filmed in advance for when we were going on holiday. I feel like it was. Asking to go into the computer room in the hotel we were staying at to reply to a comment or something. Or to put annotations on a video because the side video had too many mistakes in it and I couldn't do it on my phone. Oh, thanks, Shiffy. I hope to be doing things for a long time. So, like, I see like loads of names about that for a long, long time as well. Is there a Steadicam rig for personal use and affordable? I don't think so, really. I see, like, all of the people that do like their out and about like vlogs and stuff. They've got gimbals, haven't they? Those, like, you hold it and it's got like all sorts of motors and stuff inside that compensate for your wobbly hand. I did try a couple of them when I was still doing handheld videos, and some work better than others. They don't eliminate the shake, but they also make noise. And I think maybe when you're a vlogger and it's at arm's length and you're out and about anyway, it's not so bad. But when it's just me and it's basically in front of my microphone, it was a problem. And it was another thing that was like in the way of my face. Like, you've got the camera anyway, now it's on a great big stick in front of you and the microphone's in the way as well. It didn't work out. Because yeah, that was one of the things. I never wanted to switch to just static cam. But I think now that you can like switch the angles so smoothly, like all of the things that happen in the playthroughs now with all of the cutting between the angles, at this point that all happens with me doing it live. It's edited later to cut out the silences and the mistakes and stuff, but like a huge chunk of time in editing those videos is cut out by like just doing all that stuff live. And that's thanks to like Paul telling me a load of his tips and tricks and telling me that I should get a stream deck, which yeah, it's been a massive time saver for streams and not having streams as well. That's Marty. It might sound like I'm saying Monty. That's just my accent. That's my speech impediment. I say Marty like Monty. Rach, what about Frozen Frontier? We've not played Frozen Frontier, I don't think. What's Frozen Frontier look like? Oh, is this something new? Is this new? Construct buildings, collect resources, and settle on newly discovered planets, Janus. What do you think, Rach? It's a highly strategic Eurogame for experienced players about the cosmic future of humanity. What do you think, Rach? You're going to have to form an opinion now based on the cover of it.
The cover looks nice.
There you go. There's your verdict on Frozen Frontier. Have a group thing with Garden Paws, cutesy sandbox game.
I'm sure
Might be
I've
something
got
you like,
Garden
Rach.
Paws. I'm sure I've got that on my Steam. I definitely have got that. 100%.
It seems
Maybe
like
not. It was definitely on my wish list, maybe.
it seems like a game that you'd play, Rach.
Yeah, it's a bit like, looks like
It's-
Animal Crossing in a way.
This game says it's similar to games you've played, Stardew Valley and Parkitect. Kind of different.
They're not
They're
the same.
quite disparate games. Yeah, Rach might be into that. Oh, you bought the Final Fantasy. Oh yeah, that's just come out, hasn't it? The Pixel Remaster
yes.
collection.
Tempting.
I've got some of them on Steam. I played 4. It's probably a year or so ago now, maybe a bit longer. Played all through 4 for the first time. Loved that. Started 5.
Well, you didn't more.
Just drifted off. No.
You did 6.
I did a lot of 6, but again, just got distracted. I keep meaning to finish it because yeah, it's they were really good. I think I played 5 too quickly after 4. just finished like a great big RPG. You always feel like, oh, I want to keep it going, and then realise should probably give this a break. A little mini Marty. Heavy Cardboard does a great playthrough of Frozen Frontier. I'll have to have a look at it. It does sound kind of cool. Yeah, just from the little Board Game Geek description and stuff. Hello. You join us kind of at the end of it. We've been...
Marty's having some twitches.
He's having a twitch. What are you doing?
It isn't even Twitch. He's fully in.
But I think, yes, we've been here for just about 2 hours, and it is almost Taskmaster time. We'll wake him up for the end of the stream, or I'll put him over here.
I can see you looking at me.
Oh, you just got off work? Oh, so sorry. I will be back. Thursday nights I generally stream. It does tend to be now that I finish though. Yeah, 10 o'clock tends to be the finish, unfortunately. I'll have to do them like a different time. So, do you have a special die of sorts? Not dice for games, but a unique die you've bought on your own? Not many. I do have like bags of dice, but they are like general dice, aren't they? The only special ones that I've got, they're not in the dice section. I've got Fighting Fantasy dice that came as like a pre-order bonus.
We have some games that we used to use when we played D&D that time.
Yeah, we've got like D&D sets of dice, but that didn't last very long. We have got those still though, and I've got a folded space die. I think that's probably from Essen or something, and I've got a Gaming Rules Patreon die as well. They're the only things that spring to mind for special kinds of dice. Hey Jay, from Florida, USA. Oh, thank you. We love Florida. It's the only place that we have holidayed.
I'd
really,
rather be there than here.
If travel and accommodation and annual passes were
Just
free,
time. Yeah.
we'd just be in Universal. We've not found the answer of how many times can you go on Spider-Man before you're sick of it, but we'll answer that one day. I suppose Orlando, really. I'll say that Orlando is in Florida. Orlando is the only bit in Florida we've been. It's the only bit in America that we've been to as well, really. We should explore it further, but I really like Universal. I like sticking with the same thing until I'm sick of it. Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for being here and for asking us questions and for watching, subscribing, liking, supporting the channel in any way, which incidentally you can do on Patreon and Ko-fi. There's links in the description and stuff. Thank you for doing it at any point over these 7 years. It's just gonna suddenly carry on tomorrow. There's just going to be a stream as normal of Tapestry. I'm going to have to put Darkest Night away and get all of that sorted, and in a panic remember to play Tapestry. That it's not been very long though. That should sink in pretty quickly. Yeah, I want a special Isle of Cats where all of the cats are different tinted Martys. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to be back at 4 p.m. BST tomorrow. There will be, there's going to be 2 or 3 streams next week. There'll definitely be another one at this time. I think we're going to finish the Heat Championship. So there'll be another one at 8 o'clock tomorrow. But for now, hey, congratulations, channel, on being 7 years old. And hopefully many more years and videos and stuff to come. Thank you everyone so much for being here, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.